The science behind crafting messages that move masses in an age where information flows faster than ever before. Crafting messages that resonate deeply requires more than passion, it demands precision. Activists and changemakers are increasingly turning to data-driven strategies to amplify their impact in crowded digital spaces. The neuroscience of emotional resonance. Human brains respond powerfully to stories that trigger emotional reactions, making narrative-based communication a potent tool for social movements. Studies show that emotionally charged messages increase memory retention by up to 60% compared to neutral content, according to research published in Psychological Science. When activists frame issues through personal anecdotes rather than abstract statistics, they activate mirror neuron systems in listeners' brains. This neurological response creates empathy bridges between individuals and causes they might otherwise overlook. Cognitive biases and message framing. Social psychologists have identified over 80 distinct cognitive biases that influence how people process information. Frame your message around loss aversion. People fear losing what they have more than they desire gaining something new. A campaign emphasizing loss of access to clean water may provoke stronger action than one highlighting gaining access to safe drinking water. Leverage the availability heuristic by sharing vivid, concrete examples that make complex problems feel immediate and tangible. Use recent local events as case studies to demonstrate urgency. Create visual metaphors that simplify complex systemic issues. Implement storytelling frameworks that align with listeners' pre-existing values. Decoding audience psychology through behavioral data. Digital platforms provide unprecedented insight into audience behavior patterns across demographics and geographies. Analyzing click-through rates on different message variants reveals which framing techniques most effectively engage target populations. Segmentation algorithms can identify micro-trends within broader activist communities, allowing for hyper-personalized outreach. Data shows that messages containing both empirical evidence and human interest elements achieve highest engagement metrics. The power of narrative arcs in social movements. Effective movement narratives follow three-part structures similar to ancient mythological archetypes. These classic hero journeys create psychological hooks that sustain long-term interest in causes. Start with a relatable problem situation, escalate tension through challenges faced, then resolve with hopeful solutions. Movement leaders who master these narrative arcs see significantly higher volunteer recruitment and funding contributions. Quantifying storytelling success. Tellable data from the Global Activism Index indicates campaigns using structured story arcs gain 3.2x more media coverage than unstructured approaches. Analysis of 200-plus protest movements showed those with clear narrative trajectories achieved twice the policy changes of their counterparts. Storytellers incorporating character development saw 45% greater donor retention rates after 6 months. These numbers underscore the importance of structuring messages like compelling narratives. Strategic language patterns for maximum influence. Research identifies certain linguistic features that exponentially boost message effectiveness when used strategically. Words conveying agency, we will, generate more commitment than passive phrasing, change must happen. Simple present tense verbs create immediacy, while future tenses often dilute perceived urgency. Pronouns like our and us build collective identity, fostering a sense of shared purpose among audiences. Use imperative verbs to inspire direct action. Join us today. Balance emotional language with factual backing for credibility. Incorporate rhetorical questions to stimulate critical thinking. Visual communication principles in digital activism. Viral content analysis reveals that visually striking messages get shared at least 90% more frequently than text-only posts. Designers use color psychology principles, red for urgency, blue for trust, to shape emotional responses. Iconography plays crucial role. Symbols like raised fists convey solidarity better than textual descriptions alone. Motion graphics increase message recall by creating mental movie clips viewers remember long after seeing them. The algorithmic battle for attention span. With average attention spans now measured in seconds, understanding algorithm priorities becomes essential survival skill. Social media algorithms favor content that generates rapid interactions like shares, comments, and likes. Messages triggering surprise, outrage, or curiosity tend to perform best within first few seconds of viewing. Timing matters greatly. If your post appears during peak user activity windows, its visibility increases dramatically. Post early Monday mornings when users refresh feeds after weekends. Share time-sensitive updates near news cycles for optimal reach. Utilize trending hashtags but avoid oversaturation. Ethical considerations in persuasive messaging. While impactful messaging drives progress, ethical boundaries must be maintained to preserve credibility and public trust. Bias mitigation is critical. Audiences quickly detect manipulation attempts, damaging long-term relationships. Transparency about funding sources and potential conflicts of interest strengthens legitimacy. Responsible messengers prioritize truthfulness even when inconvenient truths challenge popular narratives. Building sustainable movement narratives. Long-term success depends not just on single powerful messages, but sustained storytelling ecosystems. Regular content calendars ensure consistent presence without overwhelming audiences with volume. Interactive elements like live Q&A sessions foster deeper connections beyond static messages. Community feedback loops help refine messaging strategies based on real-time reception data. Monitor sentiment analytics to adjust tone and approach. Test A/B versions of core messages regularly. Document effective tactics for replication across chapters. Measuring real-world impact beyond engagement metrics. True measurement extends beyond likes and shares to actual behavioral changes resulting from messaging efforts. Surveys tracking attitude shifts before/after exposure reveal cognitive impacts of different messaging styles. Actionable outcomes include increased voter registration, donations, or participation in demonstrations. Geospatial mapping helps visualize regional differences in message receptivity and conversion rates. Conclusion. Impactful messaging combines scientific rigor with creative expression to drive meaningful social transformation. By mastering neuroscience principles, strategic framing, and ethical storytelling, activists unlock unprecedented capacity for positive change.